Herkese merhaba. Beklenen gün geldi çattı. Hepiniz lise ekiplerinin 6 gün boyunca çalıştığı kamptan çıkan fikirleri dinleyeceğimiz Greenlight Day'e hoş geldiniz.
Welcome, everyone. It's the day we've been waiting for. Welcome to Greenlight Day, where we will be introduced to some brilliant new entrepreneurial ideas by our YJ High School members.
Bu sene Greenlight Day'i ben ve Emirhan çift dilli sunuyor olacağız. Takım sunumlarına zaman geldiği zaman da farklı oturumlarda İngilizce ve Türkçe olarak devam edeceğiz.
Inci and I will be your hosts for today, conducting the event in both English and Turkish and moving on to different Zoom calls for the presentations in different languages.
O zaman başlamadan bir tanışalım. Ben İnci, şu an Amerika'da University of Pennsylvania'da 3. sınıf öğrencisiyim. Benim YGA maceram ortaokulda başladı. Bu gördüğünüz fotoğrafta ortadaki gözlüklü arkadaş benim. Seneler boyunca YGA'da staj yaptım, Global Impact High School'da bulundum. Bir sürü farklı köşesinden tuttum. Hi guys, just to say this again in English. My name is Inji. I'm a junior at the University of Pennsylvania right now. My journey with YGA started when I was in middle school, and I've been in countless projects ever since.
Herkese merhaba tekrardan. Ben de Emirhan. Şu anda Münih Teknik Üniversitesi'nde 1. sınıf öğrencisiyim. İşletme ve Bilgisayar Mühendisliği Birleştiren Management Teknoloji adında bir bölümde okuyorum. Benim de YGA maceram lisede başladı Global Impact High School programıyla 2 sene önce. Şu anda da Global Impact'in College programında, üniversite programına devam ediyorum. Aynı zamanda da TİV'inde World Science Unit ekibiyle staj yapıyorum. Hi guys again, I'm Emirhan. I'm currently a student at Technical University of Munich in my first year studying management and technology. I first met YGA on my junior year of high school with the Global Impact High School program, and now I'm continuing with the college program. I'm also an intern at Twin as a part of the World Science Unit team.
O zaman başlamadan önce bugüne nasıl geldiğimizi konuşalım birazcık. Koç Lisesi, Robert Koleji, Marlborough College, TED Ankara gibi liselerden gelen öğrencilerden oluşan ekipler 6 günlük kamp boyunca tam 2000 saat nitelikli eğitim, erişilebilir ve temiz enerji gibi Birleşmiş Milletler'in sürdürülebilir kalkınma hedefleri üzerine çalıştılar. İçinde WeWalk USA Direktörü Paul Burden, Sera Group CFO'su Damla Şener, Time'da 2020'nin yılın çocuğu seçilen Gitanjali Reo'nun da olduğu 30 farklı rol modele tanıklık ettiler. Aynı zamanda da bu süreçte çok değerli girişimcilerden de mentorluk alarak projelerini hazırladılar.
Well, how was our journey up until here? Students from high schools such as the Coach School, Robert College, and Marlborough College have focused on the UN Sustainable Development Goals for the last 6 days, and they've spent over 2,000 hours in total. They've also received mentorship from some of the most successful entrepreneurs and had the chance to listen to and witness 30 role models such as the WeWalk USA Country Director Paul Burden, the CFO of Sera Group Damla Şener, and Times 2020 Kid of the Year Gitanjali Rao.
Kamp boyunca bütün öğrenciler hem çok eğlendiler hem de bugün bize sunacakları projeler için gece gündüz çalıştılar.
And while they had the chance to have so much fun, they also worked day and night for the projects they will share with you today.
Şimdi bugün bu 9 lise ekibi ortaya çıkardıkları projeleri bizlere ve değerli jüri üyelerimize sunacaklar. Bu projelerin arasından da jüri değerlendirmeleri ve sizlerin Instagram üzerinden kullandığı oylar sonucunda farklı kategorilerde ödüller sahiplerini bulacak.
Today, 9 high school teams will share their projects they've been working on with us, as well as our available judges. The winners will be decided based on both the votes and comments of our judges, as well as the votes you already casted on our Instagram page.
O zaman bence hızlıca başlayalım. Ben Türkçe olan oturum için sizi diğer linke davet ediyorum. İngilizce olan oturum bu linkten devam ediyor olacak. YouTube'un chat kısmından benim linkime ulaşabilirsiniz. Orada görüşürüz.
While we invite everyone who wants to join the Turkish presentation to a separate link, I will be going on with the English session here. You can find the link for the Turkish session posted on the YouTube chat box, and we will continue in 4 minutes when everybody is ready. See you again. Yes, so if everyone is here and if we're all ready to go, let's begin. Let me first do a quick rundown of how the session will work out. We will first get to know our judges, then we will have 4 minutes for the pitch and 6 minutes of Q&A with our judges for each team. We will then have a little assessment break. When we come back, I will announce the winners and we will find out what's going to happen afterwards. Okay, so let me start by introducing our respectable judges. Our first judge is Erdinç Uçan, who's a startup mentor with over 20 years of experience. He defines his purpose as developing himself and others to achieve things we've never realized we're capable of. He's also a YJ Dream Partner. Uçan, thanks for joining us today. Could you also briefly introduce yourself?
Thank you, Emirhan. Yeah, as you mentioned, I have 20 years of corporate experience as a finance professional. And in the last 3 years, I moved to the startup world with different hats, being as a startup mentor as well as investor. And yeah, and thank you, YGA, to give me this opportunity. I'm very excited to listen to the projects. Not only because, I mean, you tapped on the future-changing solutions to our main problems of today. Let me mention that I have a daughter of your age, and I feel very confident for the future to see you, I mean, the younger generations, taking responsibility for the future, which my generation didn't do or did less. So thank you, especially for being proactive and never stop. And one learning from Unilever, they used to tell us, even small actions can drive and will be enough to drive big impacts. And yeah, never stop. Good luck for today.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you here. So let's continue with our second judge. Our second judge in this session is Şahin Çağlayan. He's a YJ alumnus and an entrepreneur who has founded and managed different enterprises throughout his career. And he is currently the co-founder and CEO at Faraday. Welcome and thanks for joining us today. We would also love to hear a little bit more about you.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Great to be here. I'm a technology entrepreneur, as mentioned, and started 2 companies focused on both in an energy domain, but for different technologies like AI and IoT. Above all, I'm a YGA alumnus. I've been engaged with YGA projects for the last 12 years since my college, like second degree. By the way, we built our startups with the YGA volunteers, YGA team members. That time I've been working with. So be careful that who you are teaming up with right now. So you might be co-founders in the future. In the concept of today's tema, I just want to say that it is a perfect time to be an entrepreneur in energy domain, in sustainability domain. Globally, there is a huge trend, huge transition for Green New Deal, for sustainability. You all know European Union pioneers this zero carbon emission trend. There are very strict targets for 2030, 2050. 1 trillion euros will be invested in this domain to accelerate this transition. So there will be huge progress, huge innovations, acceleration in startup domain ecosystem. So we are really lucky that all together we are right now today together and also like brainstorming, discussing in this trends. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much as well. We're already very inspired by you. And last but not least, our third and final judge is Gökçe Gizer. She's also actually a YJ alumnus, so she is really familiar with the culture here and went through a similar YJ journey that our high schoolers here are going through right now. She's a consultant, startup advisor, and coach. She's also the founder of Mercury Change Group. Gökçe, thanks for joining us today, and can we get to know you a bit more as well?
Absolutely, thank you. It's always great to be here. I feel energized and excited at the same time. I'm really looking forward to hearing about your projects. As Shine pointed out, like everything that you're doing here, you don't know its impact. I've been part of YGA for the past 14 years. I started volunteering as a college student, and we were doing these type of camps for middle school students, high school students 14 years ago. And it was exhilarating. And now that I look at my life, everything that I'm working on, all the like startup ecosystem building, investing, running startup competitions, advising startups, working, mentoring them, I see all these companies that came through YGA, founded by YGA alumni, that were originally projects like the ones that you're working on right now, from like, as Shine pointed out, Reengine, which is now Faraday, WeWalk, Twin Science, Upschool now. And it's just such an honor and a pleasure to be with them on their journey, supporting them with my knowledge and connecting them with the people in my network. It is truly an honor to do that. And I'm really excited to see the kind of relationships that you build and the impact that you're going to make with the relationships and the knowledge that you get from these camps and from being a part of YGA.
Yes, we're all really excited as well. So yeah, it is a great pleasure to have all of you here. Thanks for taking your time to join us today. And now is the time you all have been waiting for. Let's hear about what our teams have worked on. I think we can begin directly with our first team. As I said before, each team will have 4 minutes to pitch their ideas. And when I say 4, I really mean 4. You might get interrupted with a little song if you don't watch the time. Also, to all the viewers who are joining us today, we would love to see your reactions to the ideas that inspire you live in the YouTube chat as well. So our first team is Green Bus, consisting of Arda, Batu, Esa, and Baver. And their motto is a clean future. Okay, if you guys are ready, the floor is yours.
So can we start?
Yes, you can go.
Okay, so firstly, thank you all for coming to our Greenlight Day presentation today. Firstly, we would like to start by introducing a story to you. Think of a working woman in her 30s called Firuze. Firuze wants to use public transport, but due to the lack of hygiene, fear of contracting COVID, and the lack of comfort, she has to use her personal vehicle to go to work every day. Today in Istanbul, there's a large majority of people who increase their carbon footprints every day due to reasons just like Firuze. So as the Green Bus team, we hope to come with a solution to this problem.
So we basically believe that this problem is located with lack of technological innovation in public transportation. Our main aim is to enhance public transportation and thus affect a higher sway of people, which we will use to create an environmental impact.
Let's take a look at the market. So Istanbul's population is 15.46 million, which is high. But in a day, only 70.9% of them doesn't use public transportation. And this is a number that can be highly improved. If we take a look at the market, global markets of sustainable technologies and electric bus, we see that they are forecasted to impressively get bigger and grow by 2027. So we, the Green Bus team, want to be the pioneers of this market in our city.
While making a decision about our target group, we chose commuters because we recognize that this group uses transport regularly. They are also displeased with the current state of public transportation, and they also wish for a better way of transportation. Our surveys conducted by us demonstrated that these people use an average of 400 minutes per day for public transportation, and this number had a 76.3% decrease due to COVID, and the main reasons behind this decrease were lack of hygiene and extreme crowdedness.
So one of the most crucial processes was creating a benchmark analysis of our competitors. We looked at competitors locally in Istanbul and globally around the world, and we realized that none of them fulfilled the criteria of being both environmentally friendly and comfortable. So our project aims to sustain both these problems.
And we created 2 surveys to get some insights from the customers. And we use this information to form new personas, and we also use the special method called mom test to verify our solution. And here is our list. We sorted this list by why are the people using public transportation and why aren't. And so we didn't just get some insights from the customers, we also get from the domain experts. And I think there is 3 big points I have to say. We must have a passenger-centered approach, and we have to care about sustainability. And I think this is the most important part. The whole market is open for innovation.
So what are we planning to do? First, we want to have an environmentally friendly and sustainable design with building an electric bus. Then hygiene comes in. We're planning to improve hygiene by using self-cleaning fabric and improving the air circulation in the buses. And for the electric devices in the bus, we are planning to use solar panel to generate solar energy. And we are introducing a concept of a green card to encourage people to take more sustainable actions and more environmentally friendly actions and give them credit. And last but not the least, we're going to include more space between seats for the comfort of the passengers. Thank you for listening.
Wow, great. You also used the time very efficiently there as well. Thank you. So I want to pass the mic to Gökçe to hear about our judges' opinions as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this great presentation. And I also appreciate that you used your time effectively. It was a very clear presentation. So I would like to ask Şahin and Ardent to start with your questions and feedback. Şahin, now that you have your mic on, would you like to go first?
All right, thanks. Great presentation. Thanks a lot. First, a huge problem and clear problem definition. The biggest question mark in my head is the financing part of this solution. How do you think that you're gonna scale this business, and how do you think that you're gonna finance the initial kick off the business, as it is a really capital intensive startup idea rather than a like software, really like cost effective software. So it's a huge infrastructure and hardware solution. How do you think that part?
And we are going to set the prices higher because we got some insights from the customers. They said, we don't care about the price. It's so cheap already. And we think that we could set the price is higher than normal.
Just to make sure, if I understand right, you are just transforming normal buses to green and sustainable buses, or building from scratch?
We are not building from the 0 point. We are just transforming into.
Okay, thanks.
You are welcome.
Hello. A great presentation. Big problem, not only in Istanbul but everywhere. The air pollution is a very big problem, and I actively use an applications before I go out every day in the morning. I check the air quality where I live. And one question, I identified 2 challenges for in your project. One is shifting people from private transportation, I mean from driving their own cars to public transportation. And the second challenge is to shift the public transformation to a greener technology. So how are you gonna juggle with these challenges, and where do you want to start?
So I can talk about the having people use public transport. We got a lot of customer insights, and they all said 2 things. If it was comfortable and in the pandemic hygienic, we would have used it a lot. And this came from a lot of different demographics and a lot of people. So we decided on including that comfort aspect to make people come and use the public transport, because it seemed like the most important thing that makes them not use public transport in their daily lives.
Okay, so thank you. It's clear, but I think there's a job to be done here. What I'll hear from your feedbacks from the pupil. So you mentioned that public transformation means comfortability and hygiene for the consumers, and the sustainability doesn't pop up as a priority for the consumers. I think this is another job to be done to create awareness on the sustainability and the heart of your project, which is the green transportation and cleaner environment for the people. That's my feedback. And thank you.
That's great. And I actually wanted to say on what Erdinç mentioned as like, it sounds like you use public transport too. You live in Paris and I live in London. I use public transport too. And I've actually heard this. It's a great problem that you guys identified, especially for Turkey, because they say that globally, the usage of public transport is a sign of welfare and wealth in the country. So the fact that I think you mentioned that 70% of the people in Istanbul don't use it right now, right? They prefer private transportation. So it was a really important thing that you identified. And I wanted to ask you, what do you think would be the kind of, adding on to like Erdinç's questions, what do you think will be the biggest challenge for you as you take your first step toward building this? Because there's a lot of different stakeholders, a lot of people to be incentivized. Like the audience needs to be using it, the city must be on board with. What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge on your way?
Personally, I think that in Istanbul especially, there's like a bias that was created due to public transport because like the lack of comfort and hygiene. So I think the biggest challenge would be like getting rid of that bias and shifting people towards public transport. But here, also answering the previous question, maybe the first element to attract more people would be comfort, and being sustainable and being greener would be like a long-term goal, because sustainability alone, we don't think that it's enough to attract more customers and more people to public transport. So the first attraction would be the comfort and hygiene, basically.
Shall I give you just a feedback from the President Macron? I live in France, and I really like when he mentioned on a sustainability meeting when he said we don't have planet B. I think this is something missing in our mindset in Turkey. So we are running late on the sustainability. I mean, the comfort, maybe we won't have a city where we will prioritize the comfort at all. I think it's very important, again, to create this awareness on the sustainability rather than, I mean, the shifting to focus from the comfort to the sustainability and air quality, the advantages of the public transportation in respect of the air pollution and the sustainable, that's very important. We are really running very late, and we need to be up to tomorrow. I mean, it's not up to date. We are really running late versus the rest of the world.
Yes, I think our time is, up. Thank you, all of our judges, for your
great
very
job.
valuable.
It's always hard to be the first group to present, so good job on that.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a great pitch. So yeah, congratulations to you guys as well. So
and keep going, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Now let's move on to our second team. This is Higher, and their motto is making everyone say, sorry, I have work tomorrow. Ege, Tuana, Müge, and Elif, you may start now as well. You also have 4 minutes.
Okay, I'm starting right now. Hello everyone, welcome to our project presentation. For our project, as a group, we chose the title Decent Work and Economic Growth from the UN Sustainable Development Goals because of its importance on pre- and post-pandemic society. We believe that unemployment creates a ripple effect that creates and deepens other critical problems in our world, and we think it has to be addressed more. Our team worked on this issue together.
So throughout this presentation, we will go over 6 subsections, as you can see.
First one is the problem. What are we trying to solve? According to the data received from World Bank, the unemployment rate has increased from 5.3% to 6.5% during the pandemic. This 1.2% difference corresponds to nearly 67 million people, which can mean actually 67 million families throughout the world, meaning that more individuals are affected by this problem. And next, we asked people, on a scale of 1 to 5, how critical do you think the unemployment problem is? And unfortunately, many people said 4 and 5. And then our next question was, do you think that your government takes any action to tackle this problem? And many of the people said no. These surveys also prove that there's a problem that needs to be solved immediately.
So next, we have our target audience. Our target audience consists of employers who had to decrease the size of their companies, employees who are overqualified due to the scarcity of job opportunities that meet their proficiencies, and the unemployed who are in immense financial struggle due to the pandemic.
Then we have our customer insights. From an employer's perspective, with the pandemic, first the economy deteriorates. So the companies start having financial crisis, which result in dismissal of the employees. And thus, the purchasing power of people decreases. Then the economy deteriorates again because people can't buy. This creates a continuous loop repeating the same pattern over and over again. Another insight we took is from an unemployed person. They think that employers want experienced workers and don't give any chance to newly graduated ones.
And our next step was the market analysis. As our research went further, we realized that there was a sharp distinction between the unemployment rates of countries. Some populations were highly employed, while some saw 33% of unemployment. As presented below, these are some random countries from the X. In addition, these are the top 5 countries from the top and the bottom layers.
So our competitors are divided into 3. The first group being the ones that provide direct employment, such as Getir and Uber. The second group consisting of companies like Upschool, in which programs are offered. And the last group consisting of online networking platforms, such as Indeed and LinkedIn. When considering the pros and cons of these groups, the first group requires a lot of workforce. However, the highly educated would not be able to earn the income they deserve. The second provides nearly guaranteed jobs. However, they have a lot of limits regarding age and gender and are highly selective, meaning that only a few have access to job opportunities. And the third group provides networking. However, very low percentages manage to get the job offers that are suitable for them.
As we are concluding, we surveyed our target audience. Our 2 questions were whether job opportunity programs were highly selective and if they would like to mentorship opportunities, online lessons, internships, and more all in one site. As you can see, they mostly give positive answers to our questions. So we decided that there is a need to develop a solution in that way. We look at that example sites such as Armut, Upschool, and Indeed. After some time with the research, we decided that making a site which combines all of the best proven from our competitors will be the best way to solve the problem. Our website, everybody, especially a 15 to 29 age range, will get theoretical training, career planning, online lessons, mentoring, internships, and job opportunities while comparing different employers.
Great. You had 10 seconds left, another very efficiently used time here. Thank you so much. That was really inspiring. And back to our judges again for their comments and questions.
Thank you so much for this. Are we excited, team? Sounds like you were really excited. Just we could feel your excitement. My dog can feel your excitement. And you never need to rush through your things. Make sure that like we're listening to you. You don't need to rush through it. That's a feedback for everyone. But it was a it was a great present. I didn't. Let's start with your questions.
So again, another problem which is on the table right now, as you mentioned, the pandemic didn't attack only our health and lifestyles, but also the job market. And I think the unemployment is a structural problem in many countries, but it has accelerated with the pandemic. I'm very happy you also mentioned that the new jobs coming into the market through the pandemic, like Getir and Uber, as Chinese says every crisis comes with opportunities. And one thing that I would like to understand is whether your solution is targeting to solve the unemployment during the pandemic and post-pandemic time, or is it more solution towards towards a structural solution? Is a short-term problem-solving idea you have, or it there can be learnings from the pandemic-driven unemployment, and hence the solutions which can be repeatable for the structural problem of unemployment?
Okay, so I can answer this question. So to be realistic, it is impossible to completely eradicate this issue. But we can easily see that the rates have massively increased and with the pandemic. So our first aim would be to decrease it to the normal levels. And then afterwards, for the second step, we would want to decrease it even more than the usual average that was recorded in the past decade, so that we can improve step by step.
Good, thank you, that's clear.
Shine, would you like to go next?
Yeah, thanks a lot for the presentation. Again, another huge problem. Just a remark, which is valid for the first project, the Green Bus as well. As a CEO of a company, myself actively working with public authorities, like government agencies or municipalities, I can say that these kind of citizen-centric problems, big problems, which relates all the people, these kind of problems require big stakeholders to scale the impact. As a startup, you can start with a solution, but it might be limited. But when you partner with the right stakeholder, rather than putting the, let's say, public authorities or huge corporations as competition, maybe you might think of putting them as partners, because they have a lot of problems which can be solved with innovative approach. They're also looking for these kind of startups. So one remark is that please think of these kind of partnerships. For example, why not putting İşkur as a strategic partner? Or in the first project, why not like İETT, Istanbul Ulaşım AŞ is a competition rather than a partner? So let's think about with this perspective, partnership perspective, and like creating the value and also delivering with key stakeholders. That is just a remark. Coming back to the question, I just wanted to understand the technological base, the IT perspective, much more detailed. How do you propose a solution? It's gonna be like a cloud-based Udemy-like solution, or it's gonna be like a marketplace? How you are gonna do the integrations with these third-party LinkedIn, Upschool, and other like edX-like platforms? I just wanna understand that if you did your prior research about it.
Maybe I can answer this question as well. So our aim is to create, our first aim is to consult some computer science majors, basically, so that they have the required groundwork. They can set the basic groundwork, and they can maybe set like a framework in which the website or the platform can be built. So we are basically planning on creating a website such as Udemy, in which people would be able to connect. And for that, our first aim would be to go up to some website builders and ask them for them to be our partners. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it is a good answer, as I expected. Just wanna like propose a solution about solution validation. In order not to invest a lot of money, time, and energy at the beginning before validating the solution, you can just use some Kickstarter pages, landing pages, in order to validate the problem and get insights from a larger volume of, let's say, stakeholders. We had a session in solution validation prior. So you can use these kind of tactics to get rid of unnecessary money, energy, and time spent during these validation periods. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I'll just give a brief feedback. I think it's a very important problem that you guys are tackling. I would just say it's such a big problem, and unlike the one with the sustainability, people can't see how this one's affecting them. So it's great that you communicated it. It would be amazing if you can, as you share the problem, maybe break it into smaller problems and tell us how you're going to solve different parts of it. What I really liked is that you're targeting 15 to 29 years old, because I think we think about employment starting after graduation, but the fact that you are also thinking about at an earlier age starting like these different trainings. So it's kind of a preliminary way to tackle this problem before it even becomes a problem. So I really appreciate it that you did that. It also, it would be great if you go to your solution earlier so that we can just like know kind of where your head's at. But thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Our time is up here as well. Thanks for your comments, and it was a great pitch. Thanks to you again. So let's move on to our next team. Our next team is Waste Z, and their motto is less waste means more to taste. Jonathan, Lizzie, Sarthak, and Marcus, the floor is yours. You can start whenever you want.
Okay, thank you. I'll just share the screen. Okay. I'll do a small countdown. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Oh, sorry. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to our presentation. Our product is called Waste Z, and the aim is to make food waste zero. Our motto is food waste is poor taste, and our team is made up of Aaron, Lissy, Sartak, myself, and Marcus.
We chose the UN goal of creating sustainable communities. The problem we defined is related to food waste in schools, which is a major problem environmentally and socially, and also for the bottom line of many organizations. 30 to 50% of all foods remain uneaten in the UK every year, which equates to around 6.7 million tons or over 10 billion pounds. All this while 2 million children were short of food. Food waste creates greenhouse gases, which are 25 times more harmful than CO2. This is a big problem with very few current solutions.
For our market analysis, we decided to not only analyze the food waste management industry, but also food waste management in schools. Food waste currently costs schools in the UK £250 million, and reducing the avoidable costs would make school lunches 22 pence cheaper. The global market size for food waste management is $34 billion, and despite the COVID-19 pandemic, the market is set to grow by 5% each year over the next 10 years. We contacted Olio and experts in the industry as they develop an app reducing food waste, and they told us that the target group for these apps are young adults, mostly women. This is very close to the school demographic.
Our product aims to target school cafeterias, as the UK alone wastes 122,000 tonnes yearly. We decided to create a survey to help us answer what caused food waste in schools and how educated students were about the food waste, etc. We found out that 70% of the participants waste food 3 times or more, while only 3% never wasted food. 88% of the participants had never used food sharing apps before, and 75% of the participants had limited to a moderate understanding about the environmental impacts of food wastage. Our overall consensus from the survey suggested the best way to reduce food wastage in schools was to reduce portion size or allow the students to choose themselves.
So with this in mind, we decided to propose our solution. Our solution is a service that we'll charge a subscription for. It's a blanket service to reduce all food waste in schools. It includes AI technology, which will watch the plates after students have eaten their food and analyze the food that is left over. This will help determine the optimum portion size. There'll also be an app which will educate the children on how they can reduce their food waste, as the survey showed that not all children felt that they felt educated on how they could reduce their food waste outside of school. We'd also have technology, and we'd also have surveys which would help the school prepare the optimum amount of food before it is eaten. The benefits of this would also be reducing costs, as schools don't have to buy as much food they won't need. It will reduce the environmental impacts of food waste, as less will end up in landfill. This will also help fulfill the UN sustainability goals. As for our customers, many will need this, as it's very cost effective, but will also be needed as there are very few equivalents to our service in the market to use AI in this way. The main fear of our product is that it will not be cost effective, as it has to be below 22p per meal. However, we think we can do this, and we think it will benefit the environment majorly.
Initially, we contacted the Wiltshire Council and John Gort Secondary School. They explained that they don't have schemes in place. Hence, we saw a gap in the market. Throughout the camp, we've also been in contact with Marlborough College, who are on a path to become more environmentally friendly, and they are open to new ideas regarding food waste, and moreover, already have cameras installed in their cafeterias. After many efforts, I was also able to contact a UK university. I spoke to the sustainability manager at Newcastle, who exclaimed they would be very interested in exploring our ideas with their catering services. Hence, we established we had a range of customers. We also analysed 5 other companies. We analysed
I have cut you off. Yeah, I'm really sorry. It's up for this presentation. So we will have to move on to our judges Q&A.
Well, thank you so much. We'll ask you some questions so that you can cover these parts too. First of all, thank you for this great presentation. I really appreciated how clear you were with the problem and the way you quantified it and showed us what it's costing us, both in terms of funds, but also in terms of like waste and sustainability and the environment. Similar to the one we were discussing before, again, now that we're on your competition slide too, this looks like a way to cooperate, which is like competition in a way. I really like your approach of preventing food waste, and that you're already talking to these like different potential, what we call like pilot groups, that you can start testing the MVP version, because I see like you have this like very bold idea of like using app tracking AI to make sure that we're fixing the problem before it starts happening. And it's good that you've identified these partners who are dealing with the problem after it occurs. So I just wanted to ask you, when you're talking about these potential projects with the Marlborough College, Newcastle University, what do you see as an MVP, like a test thing that you can do, as like Shine was suggesting to the group before, with minimum risk, minimum cost, but that you get to see, test the value that you're proposing, these being able to prevent food waste before it happens without having to develop a complicated technology?
I can answer this question if you want. Well, we thought about this, and you could actually potentially just have a normal camera, and someone could manually just check on a screen to see what's going through on the conveyor belt and just write down. So that's how we could see at the start, and they would just like change the food portions and see if it makes a difference.
And if I could add to Marcus too. So obviously we would provide examples of similar business in the industry, such as Winnow, which is being able to reduce, which is similar. It uses technology to measure how much food is left on the plate, and that was reduced food waste by 3 to 8% in each school. But furthermore, we could also, because a big part of our product is scanning technology, as we have surveys which will measure, where students will put in the food they want over the next week, and this means that schools can plan the correct food to bring in, so there isn't any food left over. And with schools that already have some scanning technology capabilities, we can test out that fast product in those schools first before going into schools where there isn't any scanning capabilities. So some schools will be more advanced, and if we could offer partly our solution there first, we could see if it's effective.
Great, thank you. Ardent, yes.
Yeah, chip in. Yeah, great presentation. I do like the substance. It was very clear, the storyline, and yeah. And just having running out with the time, I want to give a feedback over the form of the presentation. I think first of all, when you have a time pressure, I think you can avoid the animations. It's nice to have, not a must have. And I think you may be good to test the readability on the screen of your presentation, the color selection. So it's very important, especially when you do it online. Yeah, and over the what you want to do, I really like the idea. I think that we should all aim the zero waste in the food industry. And I really like that you focused on an untapped market, which are the schools. You have lots of applications in the market, like to go, and I think the schools are one of the areas where we have the huge waste of food, knowing from my daughter, and yeah, and I think whatever you do using the technology, it's great. The changing the portion size, yeah, having on the menu what you like, you don't like, so that being proactive is good. But whatever we do, there will be some leftover. So any idea you have for being reactive as well to avoid again wasting the leftover in the schools? Are you planning any cooperations, any other activities so that these leftovers can be shared in the local parish charities and the help, I don't know, like any people who need food?
Yeah, we actually did have some ideas. So with the food, which is still fine to be eaten, and so it's not made yet, or it's not on someone's plate, that can be donated to the local food banks. And then with other food, which is, say, left on people's plates, for example, and which can't be donated, that could be composted and used in local farms or converted into biofuel.
Okay. Yeah, great. I think it will be good to add on it. I think you are, I really like being providing proactive solutions, but I think again, having some reactive actions also are good to mention on your page. If you aim really zero waste.
And in our last couple of minutes, Shine, if we could get your feedback and question for the team.
Sure. Great use case of AI technology. Firstly, again, agreed with Gökçe about drilling down the problem, framing it, really like a good flow. I have a deal breaker question here because data and especially videos sometimes are tricky. Using extra cameras is okay, feasible for reducing the initial investment. But how about this? Have you ever thought about it? I believe using cameras that processing that video in cloud might be highly regulated. I'm not sure about the regulation, but I expect that there will be some regulation around it. There will be privacy concerns, anonymity concerns, and so on. Do you have you ever thought about this? That kind of maybe certification authorization from a public authority for that kind of action to perform?
Sorry, just to clarify, the cameras will only record the leftover. So it'll only record the plates of the people that they put once they're done eating. It won't actually record any faces or anybody when they're eating, just to see how much food is left over and what exactly is left over, so changes can be made.
And there's also been examples where I've just gone over, but there have also been examples where in restaurants, they've implemented systems where you can weigh the food that's left over in each plate and when it's been put into the bin. So we think that it is possible, as our technology is quite similar to that, but we haven't,
All right, great. You might think of location of the cameras and the views, maybe in detail, because I had a friend trying to use cameras to detect the focus problem in schools in similar manner, and they had some barriers utilizing that video, that camera, that data, even though they're gonna like anonymously performing that. So again, like focusing on the food is okay, but still I think you might be like checking some details about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you. And
Yeah.
before finalizing our presentation, like we will definitely look at the camera aspect again. We lastly wanted to add that we are really inspired from the story of our mentor Utku and our jury Shahin, that they are like co-founders together right now. We wanted to add that, and hopefully we are also gonna be co-founders together in future.
Yeah, that is why I told you that be careful who you are teaming up with.
Great. Yeah, we're really inspired. And by the way, I just want to add, I think although you have went over time, I don't think we missed anything with all the questions. So yeah, thank you for all the questions of the judges and their comments. And we can move on to the final team, which is Per Sustain, consisting of Alperen, Begüm, Selim, and Sanem. Their motto is invest in a sustainable future. Per Sustain, the floor is yours. You can start whenever you want.
So I'll start. Hello and welcome everyone. Today we'll be presenting Per Sustain. We worked with a team of 5, as you can see.
As mentioned before, our slogan for the startup project is invest in a sustainable future. Here is our table of contents. Our presentation today will mainly be about these outlines.
We decided to work on the 11th UN goal, which is sustainable cities and communities. We picked the lack of sustainable and renewable energy usage at houses, as well as the lack of awareness as our problem.
After defining our problem, we decided to research how popular sustainability is in different countries. As you can see from the slide, we realized that the number of fully sustainable houses in different countries were quite low. With around 14,000 houses sold each year in the US and an expected increase by 250 million in 10, more than 2 billion in 8 years, we decided that working on increasing sustainability in houses would have a huge impact for our environment in long term.
For our target group, we picked house owners, building contractors, real estate agents, architects, engineers, and tenants. We sent out surveys and got around 60 responses. To summarize the results, majority of the people with 76.8% said that their energy expenditures were too high. 89.3% agrees with the fact that sustainable energy will be more economical in the long run. And almost everyone who filled out the form, with 98.2%, said that they're willing to invest for sustainable energy at their houses.
After gathering insight from our target group, we knew what our solution could be so far. So we started to look for competitors. Here we have 3 of them listed. For example, Power Ledger has an ability to store and sell the leftover sustainable energy. Sustain Trust provides a service, a shop including eco-friendly products, and also a course to raise awareness on sustainability. And our last competitor, Eco Energy, measures commitment to sustainable energy. So after seeing our competitors' work, we came up with our unique features. The numbers next to each star reveals the average point each feature got out of 5 in our surveys. Our first feature was about the app asking personal questions to each user, for example, maybe about the size of their roof. Our second feature was about the app tracking the financial benefit the users achieve by transforming to sustainable energy. The financial benefit is what encourages the users according to our insight surveys.
And our last feature was about the app also being an opportunity for companies producing sustainable energy-related products to sell them on our platform, which makes our app also a marketplace. Also, on the top right corner, you can see the logo of our app.
For the insights, out the 7 domain experts you can see on the screen. We took insights on many things, ranging from target audience to our unique values. As we talked to different people from different professions, we had the chance to hear about many different perspectives. We realized many things that we hadn't think about before. For example, Barış abi told us about the legal concerns in sustainable energy. Our main stream for income is getting commissions from the sales at the marketplace. Also, ads will be held in the app to generate income. However, this feature will be stopped when an uptrend is seen on the app to provide an user-friendly application.
We also determined long-term goals for our project. We would like to collaborate with Power Ledger to store and sell the extra energy, launch our own products in our app, and leave no legal concerns to our users about their purchases in the future.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Oh yeah, go.
Yes, thank you. So Shine, this is your area. Kind of, let's start with you, and then we'll move on to feedback and questions from you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the presentation. Yeah, even though this is my area, questions about the solution you're proposing. In order to ask the questions in my mind, can I ask you to like rephrase or retell the solution and the target group you're approaching? May I ask you? Repeat it.
I can answer that question. For the target group part, since the sustainable products such as the solar panels are quite expensive nowadays, and which are expected to decrease in the future, our main target group is all the house owners or people who are living on rent with high income, since the total budget could be high. And in order to rephrase the solution, we are planning to, first of all, gather around information from the users, such as the area of their houses, how many people are living, their total electric usage at their houses, in order to provide the possible best solution. Use 3 solar panels, use 5 in these measurements, and by showing them the potential benefits and the daily monthly benefits they have, we are planning to show the financial aspects, the financial gains, which attracts the users according to our surveys, and the the footprints they reduce in order to tackle them through the psychology, and finally providing a market space where they can see different products in order to compare them and directly go and buy, instead of getting the chance to talk about the seller, how are we going to do this. The only job they have to do is go and buy with many different options.
Okay, so as far as I understand, it is a mobile app and helping homeowners, residential users, to size their potential renewable assets, for solar photovoltaics on their roof before buying it, and also reaching out potential providers, these kind of sustainable equipment or service providers. With just one tool, you have them before installing the solar panels. So yeah, I got it right?
Yes, we are a connection up between the seller and the buyer. In the future, we are planning to put our own tools, but that will require a high budget. That's why in the first place, we are a connection between 2 sides.
Okay.
Great. Thanks.
So yeah, then it makes sense to partner with Power Ledger-like companies or solar companies. So you have a huge ecosystem. You can think of partnering with solar inverter providers, solar panel providers, also utilities, which sells electricity to the residentials, and also IoT and software companies like us. So we can talk of partnering with and working together after this session. So I believe these kind of partnerships will let you accelerate in the market.
Thank you. Ardent, do you have any questions,
Yeah.
feedback?
I think building on the discussions led by Shine questions, one thing I love, first of all, great presentation, again, very clear on what's the problem, the solutions, and the actions that you want to take. I think one thing is missing, in my opinion, it's the supply side. It's very demand oriented, but I think one of the challenges in the sustainable or renewable energy is the supply side. First of all, having worked in many projects within a hedge fund, I know how it's expensive to invest into sustainable energies. And I think this is something that you need to identify what is the size of the price for on the supply side, so that you can identify the market for the demand as well. The second thing which I like and I don't like about the marketplace, it brings choices to suppliers as well as the buyers and the consumers, but it has an impact on the deflation of the prices. So again, having said that, this renewable energy is a heavy investment, heavy capital investment requiring industry. I think we have to think how we can create an ecosystem where there's a value creation for every single stakeholder within the ecosystem. One thing you can do is to identify whether you can get some, I would say, public sweeteners to bring more value creation to stakeholders into ecosystem, as such, like lower council tax if you use renewable energy, I don't know, lower tax on house buying. And yeah, it's very important that the market that you want to create is economically beneficial for all stakeholders. And please focus on the supplier side as well.
Thank you. So I would like to add a few things regarding your question and your feedbacks. So we understand the risks and the benefits of having a marketplace in our application. And the main reason why we had a marketplace is that, first of all, when we give a personalization to the customers, we actually encourage them to buy and use this sustainable technology. So we thought that if we didn't have a marketplace, all our app had to offer was just giving them personalization and the best package and the best, let's say, system for their economic benefits. And we thought that it wouldn't be as efficient enough as we imagined. So we thought that having a marketplace is the best solution that we could finalize our app's purpose, so that the customers would buy it. And we also thought the way you did, and after time passes and we grow, we will produce our own equipment so that the prices will kept constant, and it will be lower than the normal prices in the market, because they're our customers and we also get revenue from ads and etc. So yes, we will solve that when we start to produce our own equipment.
Thank you so much. I know we ran out of time, but I would like to add a few quick things. Great job, and I love the way you're approaching the solution. I would like to go back and look at how you get to incentivize your audience, as Ardent pointed out. I mean, you've been thinking about it, and I was just also really happy to see that you found about Power Ledger. It's actually a company I worked closely with. They've invested in the global startup competition that I was running, and I'm one of the investors. So if you want to pursue this project, it would be my pleasure to connect you with Gemma, the co-founder of Power Ledger. So that's another great things about YGA. It's when you do your research, you're clear about what you want to get, and you put it out there. This amazing network actually can get you to whatever you want to achieve. And I would say Shahin from experience would know all the great connections that that supported Faraday on its journey through YGA. So I really appreciated your holistic approach to this problem, and would love to see that you keep working on it.
Thank you.
So I think we're set with time, right, Emrehan? Yes.
Yes. What a way to tie things up. Thanks to all of the teams for their hard work and well put pitches. And thanks to you, our judges, for your insightful comments and feedback. Now we will have a short break. Meanwhile, we will have short presentations about Young Guru Academy, the YGA Summit, and Social Innovation Camp. So see you all after the break.
Birlikte kaldık mı Gökçe?
YGA İnovasyon Programı'nı ilk duyduğumda açıkçası ya ben liseliyim, ben mi inovasyon yapacağım diye düşünmedim değil. Ama daha sonra araştırınca gördüm ki akıllı baston WeWalk, çocuklara bilim sevdiren bilim setleri, yüzer güneş enerjisi sistemi gibi dünya çapında ödül almış birçok proje var. Bu projeyi hayata geçiren insanlarla birlikte çalışma fikri beni gerçekten çok heyecanlandırdı ve hemen başvurdum.
Smart folks at the Young Guru Academy have created the world's most developed smart cane, making the world a much more accessible and safer place to the visually impaired.
Ne dünyanın en güncel konularına odaklanacağımızı ne de MIT'den ödül almış Cihan abi gibi YGA mezunlarıyla bu kadar yakından iletişimde olacağımızı bilmiyorduk önceden.
Üzerine çalışmamız için çevre teknolojileri konusu seçilmişti aslında ve bu 1 yıl sürecek bir süreçti. Biz de bunun üzerine düşünmeye başladık ve önce içgörü toplamaya ve saha yemeye karar verdik. Daha sonra bu konu üzerine ne yapabiliriz diye düşündüğümüz zaman farklı sistemlerle entegrasyonun verimliliği yüksek düzeyde arttırdığına karar verdik ve bu yönde çalışmaya başladık.
Their dedication to improving human life is what really matters here. The world needs more people like them, who will create breakthrough innovations to make the world a better place.
Şu an gerçekten çok heyecanlıyız çünkü belki de aylardır emek verdiğimiz projeler kitlesel fonlanacak ve bunun sonucunda milyonlara yarar sağladığımız projeler haline gelmiş olacaklar.
WeWalk は日本のテックイベント CTEC にレトログローバルコネクションのメンバーとして参加し、プラグ&プレイのピッチイベントでベストスタートアップを受賞しました。皆さんおめでとうございます。
Japoncanız benim kadar iyi olmayabilir. Sizler için tercüme edeyim. WeWalk, Japonya'da dünyanın en önemli teknoloji merkezlerinden Plug and Play tarafından en iyi startup seçildi. Daha önce Amerika ve İngiltere'deki Edison ve Time ödüllerini ülkemize getirmişti. Bu sefer teknolojinin kalbi diyebileceğimiz Japonya'da böyle bir ödüle layık görülmesi bizleri çok mutlu etti.
YGA Global Impact High School programında insanlığa faydalı, birlikte ilklere imza atabilecek gençler yetiştirmeyi hedefliyoruz. Kürşat da onlardan biri. Bu ödülün arkasında da 2 lise öğrencisinin emeği var. Eminiz ki bu programdaki anlamlı birliktelikler sayesinde daha nice ilklere birlikte imza atacağız.
Ya başta stajda ufak tefek işler verecekler falan sanıyordum. WeWalk ekibinin o an gündeminde olan en önemli işlerde sorumluluklarda bulundum. Microsoft gibi dünyanın önde gelen şirketler, Faruk Eczacıbaşı gibi önde gelen iş adamları gibi insanlarla, Japonya'da iş adamlarıyla toplantılara katılma ve hatta bu toplantılarda sunumlarda bulunma fırsatı buldum.
Toplantının başında Namuroka-san liseli öğrencilerin kendisine sunumu yapacağını öğrenince biraz şaşırdı açıkçası. Bizi dünyada sadece 45 startup'ı seçtikleri Japonya'daki bir etkinliğe Mert ve Ege'nin sunumu sayesinde davet ettiler.
WeWork'ta çalışmak sadece Türkiye'de çalışmak gibi bir deneyim değildi. Aynı zamanda uluslararası bir startup'ta çalışıyor gibiydim. İngiltere'den Jean-Marc'la ya da Türkiye'de olup Amerika'dan gelen Joe ile beraber çalışma imkanı buldum. Çok karma ülkelerden gelen güzel bir çalışma ortamındaydı.
But I was just surprised at how mature their approach was to that culture. And to be honest with you, I really wish that I had it back when I was in high school many years ago.
Overall, like I said, I'm very impressed by the amount of knowledge that you were able to acquire in such a short amount of time. I always think back when I was in high school, whether or not I was that comfortable with being able to challenge my peers and whether or not I was that absorbed in my learning experience.
Mert ve Ege'nin gelecekte çift kanatlı girişimci olarak dünyaya değer katmaları beni çok heyecanlandırıyor.
YGA günümüzün toplumlarının kötücül sorunlarına sosyal ve inovasyon temelli çözümler bulan ve bunu da teknoloji kaldırıcıyla yapan bir atmosfer, bir iklim bence.
Sizce İstanbul çift kanatlı girişimcilerin, çift kanatlı girişimlerin buluştuğu bir yer olsa İstanbul'a yakışmaz mı?
Hangi ortamda Türkiye'nin en iyi üniversitelerinden böyle elle seçilmiş 2000 kişiyi bulup da hitap etmem mümkün? Ben başka bir yer bilmiyorum. Beni layık gördüğünüz için bu topluluğa teşekkür ederim.
YGA gençleri olarak bizleri bekleyen geleceğe yaratıcılık ve cesaretle hazırlandığınızı biliyorum.
I think YGA is a critical building block for all this. I support it and will continue to support it. That opened my eyes to a whole vista of opportunities.
Very interesting combination of entrepreneurial activity, a good message around the heart and service and being a servant to the community.
Bilimi çok basit tarif ediyorum. Meraklı insanın hakikati bulmak üzere çıktığı yol.
Onların ileride daha fazla sorumluluklar alarak Türkiye'yi güzel yerlere götüreceğine inanıyorum. Young Grew aşk diye tabir ederim.
Yüreğiniz şarkı söylerse eğer, hayat sizi mutlaka dansa kaldıracaktır.
I was very impressed and surprised to learn that YGA has 50,000 applicants for their conference every year. This is more competitive than the HBS application process at Harvard Business School.
Benim adım Yiğit. Şu anda Amerika'da Harvard Üniversitesi'nde okuyorum. YGN'de Global Impact programıyla geçen yaz tanışmıştım. Bugün gidiyoruz çocuklarla köy okullarında deney yapıyoruz, proje yapıyoruz. Onlara yardım ediyoruz. Onlar bize bazı şeyler gösteriyor, biz bir şeyler öğreniyoruz onlardan. Ama günün sonunda hepsiyle vedalaşırken insanın kafasından ister istemez şöyle bir şey geçiyor. Mutlaka şu anda o okuldaki öğrencilerin birinde veya birden fazlasında bir iz bırakmış olmalıyım düşüncesi insana inanılmaz mutluluk veren bir fikir. Sadece bilimden çok daha öte bir durum var burada ve ben bunun bilim seferberliğinden daha çok bir umut seferberliği olduğunu düşünüyorum.
Ben Ece, Boston Üniversitesi'nde bilgisayar mühendisi ve felsefe okuyorum. Bütün köydeki insanlar inanılmaz içtenlerdi ve benim belki de kendi evimde hissetmediğim o koşulsuz sevgiyi gösterdiler. İnsan sorguluyor yani bunun için ne yaptım ki diye.
Onları yemeklerken onlara çok güzel ziyafetler çekeceğim, elimle pişireceğim. Bizim örf adetimiz bu. Biz onu en iyi şekilde ağırlarız, en iyi şekilde onun misafirperverliğimizi yaparız. Buradan gittiği zaman sadece ceketini alıp gitmez. Ben yapamadım, çocuklarım yapsın. Var gücümle koşuyorum, çocuklarımın arkasındayım. Çocuklarımı okutuyorum. Böyle yurt dışından, iyi bir okullardan böyle insanlar kalkıp bizim köyümüze gelip böyle bir şeyler yapıyorsa bir heyecan var, bir istek var. Bunların yaptığını biz de yaparsak biz de belki bir yerlere geliriz, hissi uyanacak gibime geliyor.
Ben öğretmenlerimden duydum. Cuma günü demişlerdi hatta. Duyuru yaptılar o zamandan. Dediler ki Amerika'dan falan gelecekler size proje falan öğretecekler dedi. Hayalimi gerçeğe dönüştürdüm. Hatta gerçeği hayale dönüştürdüm.
YGA İnovasyon Programı'nı ilk duyduğumda açıkçası ya ben liseliyim, ben mi inovasyon yapacağım diye düşünmedim değil. Ama daha sonra araştırınca gördüm ki akıllı baston WeWalk, çocuklara bilimi sevdiren bilim setleri, yüzer güneş enerjisi sistemi gibi dünya çapında ödül almış birçok proje var. Bu projeyi hayata geçiren insanlarla birlikte çalışma fikri beni gerçekten çok heyecanlandırdı ve hemen başvurdum.
Smart folks at the Young Guru Academy have created the world's most developed smart cane, making the world a much more accessible and safer place to the visually impaired.
Ne dünyanın en güncel konularına odaklanacağımızı ne de MIT'den ödül almış Cihan abi gibi YGA mezunlarıyla bu kadar yakından iletişimde olacağımızı bilmiyorduk önceden.
Bu sene üzerine çalışmamız için çevre teknolojileri konusu seçilmişti aslında ve bu 1 yıl sürecek bir süreçti. Biz de bunun üzerine düşünmeye başladık ve önce içgörü toplamaya ve saha yemeye karar verdik. Daha sonra bu konu üzerine ne yapabiliriz diye düşündüğümüz zaman farklı sistemlerle entegrasyonun verimliliği yüksek düzeyde arttırdığına karar verdik ve bu yönde çalışmaya başladık.
Their dedication to improving human life is what really matters here. The world needs more people like them who will create breakthrough innovations to make the world a better place.
Şu an gerçekten çok heyecanlıyız çünkü belki de aylardır emek verdiğimiz projeler kitlesel fonlanacak ve bunun sonucunda milyonlara yarar sağladığımız projeler haline gelmiş olacaklar.
WeWork は日本のテックイベント CTEC にジェトログローバルコネクションのメンバーとして参加し、プラグ&プレイのピッチイベントでベストスタートアップを受賞しました。皆さんおめでとうございます。
Japoncanız benim kadar iyi olmayabilir. Sizler için tercüme edeyim. WeWork, Japonya'da dünyanın en önemli teknoloji merkezlerinden Plug and Play tarafından en iyi startup seçildi. Daha önce Amerika ve İngiltere'deki Edison ve Time ödüllerini ülkemize getirmişti. Bu sefer teknolojinin kalbi diyebileceğimiz Japonya'da böyle bir ödüle layık görülmesi bizleri çok mutlu etti.
YGA Global Impact High School programında insanlığa faydalı, birlikte ilklere imza atabilecek gençler yetiştirmeyi hedefliyoruz. Kürşat da onlardan biri. Bu ödülün arkasında da iki lise öğrencisinin emeği var. Eminiz ki bu programdaki anlamlı birliktelikler sayesinde daha nice ilklere birlikte imza atacağız.
Ya başta stajda ufak tefek işler verecekler falan sanıyordum. WeWork ekibinin o an gündeminde olan en önemli işlerde, sorumluluklarda bulundum. Microsoft gibi dünyanın önde gelen şirketler, Faruk Eczacıbaşı gibi önde gelen iş adamları gibi insanlarla, Japonya'dan iş adamlarıyla toplantılara katılma ve hatta bu toplantılarda sunumlarda bulunma fırsatı buldum.
Toplantının başında Namuroka-san liseli öğrencilerin kendisine sunumu yapacağını öğrenince biraz şaşırdı açıkçası. Bizi dünyada sadece 45 startup'ı seçtikleri Japonya'daki bir etkinliğe Mert ve Ege'nin sunumu sayesinde davet ettiler.
WeWork'ta çalışmak sadece Türkiye'de çalışmak gibi bir deneyim değildi. Aynı zamanda uluslararası bir startup'ta çalışıyor gibiydim. İngiltere'den Jean-Marc'la ya da Türkiye'de olup Amerika'dan gelen Joe ile beraber çalışma imkanı buldum. Çok karma ülkelerden gelen güzel bir çalışma ortamındaydım.
But I was just surprised at how mature, their approach was to that culture. And to be honest with you, I really wish that I had it back when I was in high school many years ago.
Overall, like I said, I'm very impressed by the amount of knowledge that you were able to acquire in such a short amount of time. I always think back when I was in high school, whether or not I was that comfortable with being able to challenge my peers and whether or not I was that absorbed in my learning experience.
Mert ve Ege'nin gelecekte çift kanatlı girişimci olarak dünyaya değer katmaları beni çok heyecanlandırıyor.
Welcome back, everyone. The assessment period is now over and the votes of our judges are locked in. Although there will be winners today, what our judges will say to each team are also very, very valuable. So I would like to pass it back to the judges to hear about their comments.
Well, first of all, we'd like to congratulate all teams on great presentations and the amazing work that you've done over these past few days. We understand that it was a very tight time frame, and it seems like you've done, you've made a lot of progress, and we really hope that you continue to explore working on these projects, especially if you really found something that resonates with you from these. We really appreciated all the research that you've done, the insights that you've collected, and we'd like to give our brief feedback to each team, starting with Green Bus. Erdinç, if you'd like to share a few things.
Yes. So Green Bus, I think it's a problem-solving startup within the many problems. I think the transportation is a main issue in the big cities, and having impact on many things like traffic and time wasting in the traffic, stress, pollution, the cost. And in today's world, we talk a lot about economies of sharing, and public transport is the very, very early of the model of the economies sharing in our city lives. I think I really like the idea if you can really solve the problem, this transformation of people from private transportations into public transportation, and make the public transportation greener. I think you will be able to solve many problems within the core problem you want to tackle with. So I really like the idea that having multi-impacts on many problems.
Great, thank you for that. And a general feedback we have for all of the teams is that we love that you identified these major problems, and it would be great to get more specific, which some of you did a little bit further, to make sure that you start tackling the actual source of the problem. Like, keep asking why. If that's the problem, why that's happening, why is that happening? And then the second major feedback, I would say, really understand your audience, because as Erdinç pointed out, especially with this like green bus sustainability, sometimes we don't realize how it's my problem as the consumer, as your target audience. And we're making assumptions that like people care about sustainability and the environment, but maybe they don't, maybe that's not their priority. So some of you mentioned that one of the first things that you would do is to create awareness around these problems, and that goes through understanding what your audience really cares about. And with that, I'd like to give our general feedback about Hire. We love that you're tackling this problem about employment and thinking about it from like all these different angles. It is a really, really big task to take on. So again, like as mentioned during your presentation, it would be good to understand who could be your co-petition, not necessarily competition, because especially for a really great cause like this, we're all trying to solve the same thing, and we need to be working together, pulling our resources together, our knowledge and our impact together. So it would be great for you to make sure that you know which area you want to start with, whether it's like building skills, which is the pre-cause of unemployment, or partnering with job placements and trainings, and making sure you know how to partner with, who to partner with. So great job, Hire team. And next up, we have Waste the team. Erdinç, if we can get your feedback about that team as well.
Sure, thank you. And another great project, very clear. I think I will like that you tap on a big problem, food waste, but also you focused on the schools. It's an untapped market, as far as I know. So starting, I mean, with one part of the big problem, starting small in a bigger problem, I think it's a good idea for a startup. And you really analyzed well the problem, which helped you to drive, actionable solutions. I really like also the diversity of feedbacks you got. We talk with many stakeholders within this problem. I think I really liked the idea, how it was structured, and I think it's an idea which can be translated into a business, especially sizable and repeatable business very quickly. I really like the having a well identified and well solutionable job you have done, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And for our last company, Pristine, we would love Shahin to give our overall feedback.
Yeah, thanks. Firstly, good combination of all the possible approach, like marketplace approach, personalization, and the sustainability. It's an intersection of all these three. If you can build it, the app, the mobile app right way, I believe the impact will be huge, as it brings lots of stakeholders to the table. So you can even beat Elon Musk with that idea, because like ultimately it is like a competitor of Tesla. So, and the suggestion is that the chicken and egg problem of the marketplaces, where you get stuck between whom to bring for sellers or the customers, the buyers. So how to incentivize both parties with best possible ways. I think you should work on it, drill down and talk with the subject matter experts in marketplaces. I believe YGA can provide you these kind of subject matter experts in different online marketplace or offline marketplace solutions. My suggestion is that work on that, and also onboard utilities, energy utilities, like Energisa and other kind of utilities to the picture as a partner, because they are desperately looking for these kind of innovative solutions for their customers. So they might be providing data, providing channel, as well as marketing support for your business idea. Great job. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And again, thank you to all the teams. I know you guys are tired, but this is just the beginning. We really hope that you enjoyed the process, because what you're learning through this process is what's going to help you in the future. And with that, Emirhan, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Great. Thank you all for your comments. I don't know about you, but I'm really excited for the future of all these projects. And now we have arrived at the moment that you and we all have been waiting for. It is time to learn our winners, decided by the judges and the votes casted on Instagram. The winning team's ideas will be put through YJ Studio, where they will proceed to the next stage of ideation. These ideas will have the opportunity to become the foundation for new YJ ventures, and even potentially become startups of its own through YJ Studio. So let me just run down you the awards for today. Today we will have 4 awards, namely the Impact Champions, the Promising Team Award, the Insight Champions, and the Clarity Champions. So without further ado, let's see who our winners are for today. Our first award is the Impact Champions Award. Today, our judges have shared very valuable feedback for each one of your projects regarding how you can improve and overcome certain challenges with them. This award goes to the idea that the judges believe have the potential to make the largest impact if these improvements are to be made. And our winner is Green Bus. Congrats to all of you. Yeah, congrats to all of you. We were very inspired by what kind of impact your project can make. Yes, and on to our second award. Our second award is the Promising Team Award. All of the teams have shared amazing, creative, and very well thought projects. And while the end product is obviously very vital, in YGA, we always highlight the importance of succeeding together in the teamwork. The recipients of this award have shown that they can very well work in unison and help each other improve and succeed as well. And the winner for the Promising Team Award is Hired. Congrats to you as well. And our third award is the Insight Champions. Our teams have come up with ideas that are potential solutions to very, very complex problems from our daily lives. And because of this, they needed to do a lot of research to learn about the details of their problems and also learn about their potential customers and reach them. This award goes to the team that has displayed their ability to research and gain insights the best. And our Insight Champions are Waste Z. Congratulations to you as well. And last but not least, we have our Clarity Champions. As I have mentioned, and we have all seen, both the problems and the solutions that our teams are handling are quite complex in nature. Hence, the teams need to be able to clearly define their problems and constraints while having also a clear purpose. The recipient of this award has shown that they both understand the challenge and present their solutions very clearly. And the award goes to Sustain. Congratulations to you as well. Wow, what an exciting day that was. I'm very hopeful for the future because of all of you. Thank you so much. And now that each award has reached its recipient, we're slowly reaching the end of today. First of all, I would like to thank each and every one of our judges who were kind enough to join us today and share their comments and insights with us and our teams. Another big thank you and congratulations obviously goes to our teams who worked hard to bring us these amazing and very creative solutions today. I'm truly inspired by each and every one of you. Your pitches make me very, very hopeful for the future. And also in the background, while our high schoolers were working on their ideas, they worked very close with YJ alumni as well. So I would also like to thank all of them for becoming great role models to them. There are also a lot of parents in the audience watching us today, who I would especially like to thank as they're the role models of our high schoolers who got to witness first for years. And last but not least, I would like to thank all of you who have spent your time watching this today and contributed with your votes online. And that's it for today. Let's all wave each other goodbye, and I'm looking forward to when we meet again. See you, everyone.
And thank you, our amazing host, Emirhan.
Thank you so much.
Özgün Hanım çok teşekkür ederiz.